Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. So in today's video, we are going to talk about something I get all the time. Am I just a sensitive person, or am I a highly sensitive person, an HSP? I know that this can be very confusing, and I totally get it. In fact, I've actually already made 2 other videos highlighting lesser known signs, traits, things that you may experience as a highly sensitive person. This one and this video, and I'll drop the links below. But even with those out there, even with both of those videos out here, I still hear from so many people, how do I know? How do I know for sure if I'm a highly sensitive person? So the reason this matters is because understanding whether you are an HSP or just sensitive, I should say just sensitive is a key piece to understanding who you are, because there are some massive differences between being sensitive and an HSP. So figuring out who you are as an HSP can quite literally feel like a game changer in your life. For me, my life completely made sense once I understood that I am an HSP, and then I can live my life as an HSP. If you are wondering, am I an HSP? Am I a highly sensitive person? Stick around. In this video, we are going to crack the code. I'm going to help you figure out if you are a highly sensitive person. Hey y'all, I'm Ginger Reddy, and welcome to the Thriving Sensitive. I am your HSP coach and bestie, and I'm so glad you are here. I'm grateful for each of you. This is a channel where we get real. We have a real conversation about being an HSP. We're going to talk about the hard stuff here, also the good stuff, and how being an HSP can become your superpower. You have such a gift. So we're going to dive into mindset shifts, holistic healing practices, and even explore your intuition, talk about spirit guides, connecting outside of this 3D world, because guess what? As a highly sensitive person, you are super connected to the universe. So I'm going to bring this to this channel. So we are going to get a little woo-woo, and that's my jam. That's where I get super excited. So this channel is your guide to mastering your energy, emotions, and building rock solid boundaries and a foundation to create a more balanced and fulfilling life. I'm glad you're here. So, are you ready to embrace your sensitivity and figure out if you're an HSP? Then let's get started. Okay, so you have already been hearing me reference HSP. HSP stands for highly sensitive person. HSPs experience the world more intensely. External stimuli like lights, sounds can feel like a lot to us. We also just process our emotions so much deeper. It goes here, right? It's that what I've coined a phrase in my life, and I'm sharing it with you guys, that moreness factor. That moreness factor is that we just experience more emotions, more feelings, more from the external environment. It's more. And the more can feel like, God, make the more stop. Which is why I'm here to tell you that more is an amazing gift. It is something that you just have to learn how to blossom and create a life around it. So you probably feel like also, well, everyone else seems to just let everything roll off their back. They go with the flow, right? And you're just sitting there going, I can't go with the flow. I can't let things roll off my back. I get you. I understand. I'm with you. There's so often that I just wish that I could be more of the go flow girl. But now I realize it's not who I am. I'm not go with the flow. And I sometimes really struggle to move on. And that is because we feel so much more. It can be a freaking roller coaster, right? I get so passionate about this because I know how it feels. I'm an HSP and empath myself. But I also know the gift that comes with it, this rich, beautiful inner world that just needs to blossom. You just need to open up like a flower. You're more empathetic. You're tapped into your intuition. People want to share their life story with you because you are just this giving light. on this universe, in this universe, on this planet. So heightened sensitivity is a personality trait. I remember as a very little girl, my dad taking me to see Bambi. Come on, y'all. Bambi. And he had to take me out of the movie theater because it was way too loud. 5th grade, I went to my first concert, New Kids on the Block. And my dad had to take me out of the concert. I was so excited. I was obsessed with Joey McIntyre. And I had to leave the concert because it was way too loud. So it's something that you've probably been experiencing your entire life. People have probably told you you are too sensitive. It does affect, I've seen 15 to 20% and 20 to 30%, 2 different percentages. Just know that if you are an HSP, you do make a lower percentage of the non-HSPs. So let's dive into some common traits associated with being a highly sensitive person. So again, you can crack that code. So let's talk about it. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. If you're like, whoa, wait, there's too many of them. I created a little checklist that it's quite literally a checklist. You can pull up the PDF and check the ones that you are, and then you count how many. And it says it's like a clear identification that yes, you're HSP, you may be an HSP. And if you are really strong in certain areas, you still may be an HSP. Or you may be like, nope, not in it at all. I'm sensitive, but I can let things roll off my back. This external stimuli, this moreness factor is not me. So remember that you've got that checklist. Let's dive in and let's start talking about some of these traits. First, heightened sensitivity. HSPs I just talked about are just, we experience more to the external stimuli, lights, sounds. I struggle in office buildings, especially if there are no windows. I cannot do just the fluorescent lights. It's something I really struggle with. Loud sounds, quiet sounds, different sounds. And I talked about this before. Just because you like lights, loud sounds, doesn't mean that, oh, I'm not an HSP. You may find comfort in loud sounds, but others do not. Like I can't do multiple sounds. So it's all dependent upon you. Yet if there's a specific sound or specific things that are really overwhelming to you as external stimuli sounds, you may be a highly sensitive person. Deep thinkers. We tend to be and process information on a very, very, very deep level. And that's why we oftentimes get overwhelmed. It's oftentimes why we ruminate in our thoughts and we just go over and over and over about things that have happened like 14 years ago. Anyone else with me? You have to learn to let go. And it is possible. We just process our experiences more deeply and we hold them in our bodies. And if you don't let them release, then you may continuously feel aches, pains, ailments because it's leading to massive overthinking, massive stress, massive overwhelm, and you live in that space. Because we take in so many emotions and so much from the outside world, if you're unable to pull back into your inside world, your inner world, and know what is yours, what is not, talking about energy, and understand how to clear your energy and how to not take on other people's energy, you're going to continuously feel like it is a big time struggle. Emotional sensitivity. HSPs just experience emotions more. Again, it's that moreness factor. And this can be moreness and happiness, joy, love, or the opposite. Because remember, it's duality. It could also be some of our darkness. It could be the, anger, frustration, overwhelm. So we experience it more. And we typically feel it somewhere in our bodies and we hold it there. Overstimulation is another one. We are easily overwhelmed by, environments that may be chaotic. Going to theme parks may be too much, even going to sporting activities, things like that. You can learn how to set boundaries and how to prepare yourself for going into those situations. It can be as simple as a party. A party can feel extremely overwhelming to you, especially if you feel really uncomfortable. Yet again, there's ways we don't have to play the victim to being an HSP. There are ways to be able to overcome these, situations that we experience in the moreness factor so we can prepare ourselves. Intuition. I tapped into this in one of the other videos and I really dug deep into intuition. HSPs just have this gut feeling, this knowing, right? You just know. And when people say, how do you know? You're like, I have no idea. I just know. I just know that I need to go left versus right. I just know that I probably shouldn't trust that person. And that is a beautiful gift to be able to tap into that intuition, those instincts. And I'm going to be doing videos, multiple videos on how to open your intuitive skills so you're able to start to build on that gift. Empathy is another one I talked about in some of the other videos that I've already done. We are highly attuned to the emotions of those around us and also our emotions as well. And we are deeply affected by the emotions that are around us. And once again, deeply affected by the emotions that are also within us. So say, for example, you work in an environment that feels very toxic and negative, you're going to feel that. And that's going to become part of your life unless you know how to protect your energy. So we are going to be doing multiple videos on how to protect your energy and understanding when you pick up energy that is yours and not yours. I talk about this a lot with my coaching clients as well, because oftentimes they don't realize that they aren't angry or frustrated. They picked it up. I can walk into a grocery store, y'all, and be as happy as can be. And then I walk out of the grocery store and I am pissed off. And I'm like, what the hell happened? I mean, look, people aren't very friendly in this grocery store and where I live. Yet that doesn't bother me. It's because the energy that I'm picking up in that store, these people are so unhappy. Until I started to recognize that, I mean, I do now extra grounding before I go into a grocery store. So these are things that you can do to be able to help yourself in certain situations so that a way you're able to overcome it and still go into that grocery store. Creativity. Many HSPs are creative. And oftentimes we don't tap into that creative muscle. So we get super far away from our creative muscle. And then we are not opening ourselves to the gift, which opens up to your intuition. And again, this is another one that I talked a little bit about in some of the lesser known. I am going over them again to kind of give you that whole big picture. We are extremely observant and detail oriented, sometimes to a fault, right? You can notice colors and flowers and things that people miss. You're very, very detailed and you are just extremely observant. Need for solitude is another one. And I talked about this a lot in my last video, why friendships can feel difficult. And I'll drop that link below as well. We require downtime and a good amount of it. And oftentimes people think that we are, pulling back for a reason. It's just because we need space. I don't need to talk on the phone all the time. I don't need to be going and doing things all the time. I do need to be outside all the time. And we need frequent breaks. We need a lot of downtime, especially if you have a packed schedule. If you have a packed schedule, I cannot stress enough that you have got to take breaks. You have to learn how to schedule breaks. I traveled for 10 years in corporate education, and I had no idea I was an HSP at the time, and I had no idea the reason why I was so overwhelmed at all times, extremely stressed. And that is because it was too much for me to be on a plane, in a hotel, go and train, come back, do all the stuff I needed to do. I worked till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I took no breaks whatsoever. So if you have a packed schedule like that, you have to find time. And it is a must. A must. Solitude is a must. Downtime is a must for HSPs. HSPs are also very sensitive to criticism. Obviously, we know that we are sensitive. Criticism can put us into overdrive. We feel attacked. If a friend comes to you and says, I didn't like this, and you immediately go into attack mode because you feel like you were attacked, you may not have actually been attacked. Criticism is very hard for us to take. That's that going back to let other people let things roll off their back, but we don't. So be very well aware that it may not be criticism. It may just be really hard for you to take. Perfectionism. We have extremely high standards and expectations for ourselves. We strive for perfectionism. We strive for perfectionism in work, relationships, everything. Want everything to be perfect but perfectionism we know does not exist. So you have to learn how to accept that perfectionism and being perfect does not exist. We have a deep connection with nature. We want to be outside often. If you are not outside, it can be extremely difficult for you. I know I said extreme a lot because really it is on these levels where if you are not going outside and being around, taking in vitamin D, and you can simply just go outside, turn your back to the sun and let the vitamin D just hit your back for a few minutes to re-energize you. Getting into nature connects you to your soul. And as a highly sensitive person, we are deeply, like I said, deeply connected to the universe, and connecting to our soul is extremely important. There's that word again, to make sure that you are keeping yourself balanced. That's also going out and doing some grounding. Take your shoes off, go outside and walk. Get your feet on the grass, especially right now. It is spring. You can get outside. Get outside. You've also probably been told that you are way too sensitive your entire life. People have said, you're so sensitive. You're so sensitive. Why can't you just let things roll off your back? Why can't you just go with the flow? Why can't you toughen up? All of these things are coming from a non-HSP, someone that doesn't understand that sensitivity is just who you are. Your sensitivities are your superpower. That is a wrap on the key traits of being a highly sensitive person. If any of these resonated with you, then it is a high likely chance that you are an HSP. You are a highly sensitive person. If you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It gives me encouragement to keep going and making these videos. And we're going to start diving much deeper into all things HSP. So pull up that chair, grab some tea, grab your favorite drink, and we are going to get deep and we are going to be real about being how it feels to be an HSP. And if you are enjoying this channel so far, hit that subscribe button. I post videos every Thursday, so you don't miss out on a video. Hit that subscribe button, and I appreciate that you are here. Sending you so much light, love, and beautiful energy, and I will see you here next Thursday. Have a great day, y'all.